Awesome. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Gilad Shoham. I'm from Israel. I am leading the development team at bit.dev or bit.cloud. You can take a look. We are building a platform from engineer to like component management platform to share, collaboration, reuse. Apart from this, I also have some experience as an entrepreneur, and I'm an angel for startups, for developers, for team leaders, and also doing some angel investment, mostly on DevTools space, but not only. Apart from this, I also have my own brand about smart home and home automation. It's in Hebrew, but I have like a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel
There you go.
about these topics. So a lot of hats.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So we had dinner last night, which was great. So I got to know a little about you. I want to talk about how many interviews did you do again?
Okay, so
when you were looking for a job recently?
Yes. So the last time I was looking for a job, I did 52 different companies in 1 month.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Few interviews in each one of them.
Yeah.
Most of them. So I think I did like around like 6 interviews average each day, something like this. That's don't try it at home if you're looking at this. It's crazy. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. So talk. So that's insane, right? Like there are some people who can't even handle like 1 to 2 interviews a day. You're doing 6 interviews a day. Let's start. You know, one thing we talked about at dinner last night just was you being so meticulous. Talk about you would finish an interview and you would like write how you felt.
Yeah.
What questions you missed. Talk about that.
Sure. So when you're running so many processes together, it's hard to remember what was happening in each company. So I had some kind of a diary or like I opened a Facebook group with some close friends.
Did you really?
Yes. So I can write everything there, and if they want, they can comment. But I mostly write for myself.
I love that.
So I share after each interview. I share like what question I was asked, of course, what went good, what went wrong for me, and most importantly, how did I felt in this company? Like, what were the vibes? Did I feel like chemistry with the interviewer, with the company, with the space? Because after 2 days, I'm like after another like 12 interviews, so trying to remember what was 2 days ago, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So write everything down. I had like a very big spreadsheet with a lot of categories, like a lot of technical stuff, like company size, company location, fundraising, and stuff like this. The product, what do I feel about the product? Do I enjoy the product? And stuff like this. So a lot of information, mostly raw information, right away. So then I can process it during evening and like write another session, like on the evening about the day I just had. So like a combination of writing just after the interview and processing in the evening, and then process like each week in like a bigger or larger processing of this flow.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So talk about just some other job tips for people who are looking for a job. What are some just encouragement that you have for people who are looking for a job?
So few tips. First, if you do want to like kind of optimize the place you're going to work, like mine, and you are trying to do a lot of processes together, you need to be sure to not move too fast with one of them, because then it will then you will need to respond. So you need to delay stuff, even if you have time. Okay, I learned this on the previous one when I did like 22 companies, the session before, and I got a contract day after I started. So now I had to move everything really, really fast because I have a contract which I need to respond to. So don't do this. Don't go too fast with one company, and just like add spaces between meeting, even if you have time, if you do want to optimize it. I also really, really recommend that if you really want to get your dream job, you need to sit down with yourself and write down everything that's important for you.
Love that.
And it's important to do this before you start any process.
Love that.
Because once you start a process and you have concrete companies on your list, you are start convincing yourself why you want these companies. And if you have a contract, you will convince yourself that this is the good company for you because you are kind of invested in it. You are emotionally invested in it. And if you do really want to prioritize your stuff, you need to do it when you are like free for it before doing anything. And I did like a lot of categories of what important for me, like tech stack, company size, product consideration, tech consideration, and a lot of this. And I also did like kind of weighting this stuff, so I can say this is more important than this is less important. So I can eventually give grade on each category for each company and get like the eventual grade, which is not an average. It's like an average with like some stuff are more important than others.
Sure.
So I really recommend doing this process with yourself before. What other tips? If you want to have luck in interviews, there are some tips which are really, really not time-consuming and really improves your chance to get a job. For example, going into the product before you go to the interview and find some bugs, prepare some questions, and then on the interview saying, I saw you did this and this, I thought maybe you can do this, or how do you, when comparing to this specific competitor on this specific feature, because this shows that you did your homework, that you are, if you do your homework for the interview, you'll do the homework during job. So you get a lot of points, and it's really like, I don't know, half an hour to do this and go into this product landing page, find maybe some bugs and tell them in the interview, like for free, let's say. And this wins a lot of points really, really easily. Okay, and practice also improve a lot. Like when you need to tell about yourself. If you do it a lot of time, it's really helpful. And
I love that. So one of the things we talked about at dinner last night as well is really your team size and where they're at. So can you talk about can you talk about your team at a high level?
Yes, sure. So we are a team which are globally located. We are a fully distributed company working from home, no offices at all. And for my team, I especially hire like top talents across the world, mostly based on like open source contributions. And it's a very unique process and method that I developed for a long time about how to find these people, how to reach out to these people, how to kind of convince them to join like a small startup from Israel. Now we are 30 people in the company, so why someone from, I don't know, from Singapore will join a small startup from Israel? It's not an easy one. Some people at my team are Zoltan, the maintainer of PNPM. I have JJ, was core team member in the Vue.js. I have Olivier, core team member in the Angular team originally, and some other people. I also have some less known people, but also really wide across the globe. So we have like JJ, which is Chinese, living in Singapore. We have David, who is Israeli, living in Miami.
That's awesome.
Love, from India originally, living in Canada.
That's crazy.
Zoltan, from Ukraine, living in Hungary. Olivier from France, living in France. I'm from Israel, and we used to have Kostas until recently, which is a Greek living in London.
So how do you manage those people? Like, how does that work? Like,
so there are a lot of challenges managing such teams.
I bet.
Of course, time differences. Okay, so we have Europe, we have Singapore, we have States and Canada. So it's like, if you try to make a team meeting, it's not that easy. So a lot of async work, and also when I'm hiring the people, I put special effort to kind of checking their ability to be independent, to their ability to decide which decisions they should take alone because no one is working right now, and which decisions they should waiting with, and how else they can communicate their work, their blockers, their stuff, so they can communicate offline really well, or like asynchronously very well. And I am a workaholic, so I'm available all the time pretty much. So mostly from mobile if needed, so
Sure.
I can answer questions and stuff like this. Also, I put a lot of effort when interviewing such top talents about their ego and to prevent like ego wars.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
such a,
'cause that would be a big concern, I feel like.
such a team that's something that can be a real pain and can destroy the team completely. And I can say really gladly that I don't remember any ego war in the last few years. The boundaries are well defined. We took people with the best skill to do very specific stuff. So we have dependency management. Zoltan is the #1 in the world for dependency management. We have the Angular integration. Olivier is the #1 in Angular integration. So we have clear boundaries to prevent issues. And also this is like the character of the people are people who are not think they are smarter than others.
Right.
Stuff like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So do you really try to dig into the ego part of the
Yes.
interview? Because I feel like that's huge.
Yes, totally. And I can say that I declined candidates which were really famous and well known in the industry just because I suspect or I was afraid
Sure.
that it will lead to ego wars.
Sure.
And it's I cannot allow myself even one of these people because even one can kill the entire team productivity
100%.
and
So
environment.
how do you find these people, right? Because I mean, I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast in the future could be like, wow, this sounds, to be able to find those type of talents insane. How are you able to get those people? Is it conferences? Is it job postings? Is it just network? I mean, how do you find these people?
So let's take an example. Okay, we have like dependency management. Now I need someone for dependency management or for Angular, and now I'm starting looking on top talents in this space. So I'm looking in different places. So I'm looking on large conferences, and then in these large conferences I go over the speakers, and I'm not ending on the speakers because I don't want someone who can speak about developing Angular app. What I want is someone who understands the internal of Angular,
Yeah.
how Angular works.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into the talks and list people who are talking about Angular internals, looking on the original team, of course, looking on big open source in this space of dependencies or Angular or Vue, and see like which open source they have. Again, not open source that are like a boilerplate for building an Angular platform, but an open source that help like to improve performance on the Angular compiler, for example, or something like this. So I'm looking into specific open sources, and then if it's like a big open source like the Angular itself,
Right.
there are a lot of contributors for Angular.
Right.
Like then I'm going into the specific commits, into the specific contributions, and see which parts. Like if you did the contributions to the docs of Angular, okay, that's cool for you, but might not be what I'm looking for.
Right.
So I'm looking about which commits you are doing, what exactly you did in the Angular repositories, and which parts did you touch. So this is how I kind of filter these people out. You end up with a very short list after you do all of this. Like it's 10 people in the world,
Right.
maybe 20 if like you get lucky.
Right.
Then I'm trying to get one of these 10 people into my team. These are the 10 most people, and then when reach out to them, I don't write like a generic message.
Yes.
It's a very, very specific for each one of them. It's a very specific to each one of them.
I love it.
Telling about, I saw that you did this specific contribution, this connect to our product in this case. So I think this can be interesting for you to work because it's similar to what you did. So they feel, and it's not coming from like HR.
Right.
It's coming from developers to developers, talking about technical stuff, even on the first message about really really nuanced code or contribution or something like this. So at least I get like the initial response most of the time because it's very personal.
Yep.
And it's working. Of course, this method is not for scale. Okay, this method is good for
Correct.
for building the dream team.
Well, and then but that's what you're doing. You're building the dream team.
Yes, I'm building the dream team, and I can say that from my experience, I'm working as a developer for like 20 years now.
Yeah.
And I think that these few people are doing work like same as like 100 other developers.
Yeah.
So I think this method really proved itself to be very, very powerful.
Have you been able to pull this off at any other company, like hiring these caliber of people before?
No, not that method. It's also a combination about like, so when you talk to these people, how do you convince them to join new people? And one advantage that we have at Bit is that we build a platform for developers. We build a very, very technical platform that's going to very deep technology.
Okay.
So most of these top talents are not looking like, you cannot buy them, okay? Let's say you have a lot of money. We are a small startup. We cannot really compete on the salary and compensation against like giant companies.
Sure.
But you don't really win on the budget. In order to win them, you need to show them that they will be challenged with real technology challenges.
That makes sense.
That they will do impact on other developers, because what they're really looking for is impact and improve and optimize developer workflows, and they are looking to work with other people like them on the same level.
Yeah.
So once you bring the first one or two, it's much easier to bring the other one, because, okay, in my team, you will work with this top talent, so you know you will have some people to learn from, and you won't be like, because they don't really want to be the smartest in the room.
Right.
They want to have people to learn from.
Right.
This is how they get so far. Okay, so now I can offer this as a big advantage. See who is in my team. Okay, and you can be part of this team. It's very, very powerful. Forget the word. Reason to come.
Yeah. No, I love it. So last 5 minutes here, I want to ask, like, what's been kind of your, like, how have you gotten to where you're at in your career? Like, what are some traits that you have that you feel like have really paid off in your career?
So first, I really like to work on platform. I worked on kind of platform frameworks all the time, kind of a little bit of DevOps also, because I see like developers or software, it's like a multiplier on each industry, okay? With good software, where you can do like a work that 1,000 people cannot do without a proper software. So any developer is a multiplier, and if I multiply the developers' work, I'm the multiplier of the multipliers.
Yeah. So
I was always looking to work on like a low-level stuff for developers, platform stuff. Always, this requires to be able to go into technical stuff without being afraid, going into complicated stuff, and this is also something I require from anyone in the team. Like, if you tell me, okay, there is a bug in, I don't know, in Webpack, okay, or some bundler or compiler in TypeScript, most developers will tell you, okay, this is a bug on TypeScript, good luck, I cannot solve this. I'm not even going into trying. And in my team, okay, there is bug in Webpack. Okay, let's open Webpack code. Let's fix it.
Right.
Let's make a PR to Webpack. Let's make PR to ESLint, to TypeScript, to whatever tool. It's all written by developers, right? Like human developers. Maybe not for long, but at least now by human developers. So we can do the same. Yeah. Let's go into it. Let's jump into it and don't be afraid. So I was always going into how stuff work, and not only what they can do, but also how they do it, how they work, how they connect, maybe even build my own kind of similar solution to problem solved by big tools, just to better understand how this can be solved.
Okay. I love that. What else, from a soft skills perspective, what else do you think you do well, better than most people?
I think that I have a good combination of technical knowledge with good communication skills. So I'm doing debating for like 10 years now, like professional debating. So really good on communicating what should be done, why should we do this, and to to reason why do it in one way and not another way. I'm also give a very high priority in my schedule to my people, so they know that they will get an answer from me anytime, really soon. I'm always prioritize like not letting them be stuck.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, really important for any manager to make sure, like, as a manager, as a leader, you need to make sure that your people, your followers are successful.
Yep.
Like my job is to make them successful.
Yep.
If they are successful, I am successful in my job as a leader. So I'm trying to also do like a self-example. So I'm not afraid of writing code myself. I'm writing a lot of code and put myself high standards around, like, I don't know, test coverage, code quality, and I'm asking for feedback. I always very open to get feedbacks, and I'm trying to communicate that feedbacks, even bad feedbacks for me, it's really something you can do. Feel free to tell me. I will not be angry at you if you will say that I'm a dumb.
I mean, that's a big skill, though. I mean, that's a big skill. All right, last question as we wrap up here. And again, it was a pleasure chatting with you as always. Hey, on my podcast, Guidance Counselor 2.0, I say, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self career advice, what would it be?
Wow, that's a great question. What would I tell my young self? I don't have something in particular.
Okay.
I think I would do most of the stuff the same way.
Okay. Everybody keeps saying that, which is funny.
Yes, it's hard. I skipped a lot of companies who did big exits.
Yeah.
Maybe I would.
Maybe just stay put. Maybe just stay put. Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine. I think I would just tell myself, go, you find your way, and don't be afraid to try new things.
I love that.
Don't be afraid to search new places to be. It's always a new advantage to find and have a new job or a new role. So yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.